Kind of flip. There we go.
How you guys all doing? Just want to give everyone a reminder of everything. But what's up? How's everybody doing? Saint Random, Pauline, what's up? Penny, Crash, and Mama T so far. How you guys doing? So yeah, so a little bit ago, someone sent me a cash app and thank you for you know who you are, and asked me to watch Rev's recent stream here where he was I don't know, talking politics or something. I guess I'll see. But they wanted me to check it out. And I was like, no problem. But I just wanted to address this. The what I said in my video the last time about people just not saying correct things. You gotta understand, it's when Shanny uses it against people, against the creators, when they don't have correct content. And this wasn't like, oh, Shanny's maybe at the uncle's house or maybe with their family. This was like, the cats are in a shelter. I know, y'all, and G-Man gave the cats to his relative. That's a rumor I was hearing. I'm like, no, that's BS. And I guess YouTube's a little bit different this year than it was last year, because last year people would have bullied people off the internet off that, because folks, if Shanny hears about this stuff, she'll use it as ammunition and she'll say, see, this is why people need to listen to us and not those trolls. They said that my cats were given to G-Man and G-Man gave it to his relative. Why would I do that? Or they would say, they were in a shelter. Why would we do that? We could take care of our animals, and it makes us all look bad. That's all I was trying to say. We really need to make sure, if you're listening to somebody, make sure it's somebody that's been around for a while, or somebody like Drag who's been doing this a long, long time, and he wouldn't say something stupid like that. Only not to give Shanny ammunition. But with that all being said, I waited for him to be done so I can actually watch the live chat, because I guess even though I'm banned, I can see the live chat once it's done. Go figure. But thank you all for being here. I like the stream, and let's get going.
No, it's not.
Oh, there he is.
What's up, folks? Welcome to the first edition of what I'll call Rev Headlines here on Shanny's channel, Shanny Needs Love. So
yeah, his thought process.
I look
yeah,
to,
exactly.
Like doing more streams with Shanny, like doing video games with her, and
hey,
just
Manji.
Fun stuff mainly.
Hey, Sandra.
But if you want this type of content, show me that you want it by giving it a bunch of views and sharing it and that type of thing. I did this for years. I ran a radio show from 2012, August of 2012 until, my God, I think it was 2016 was our last shows.
And just on that, I want to say this. I know some people are saying that no, he didn't. He did. He was on the same program as G-Man. He had a channel in 2016 of 10,000 subs. I know it's hard to believe, but it's the truth. It's 10K subs. I know people were like, why isn't Rev right now streaming on his channel where he get more views? Well, I'll tell you, folks, it's because of Shanny. She's so jealous about that. She would rather have him stream on here where she gets the numbers instead of him. Because I guess when they first got together, one of the first things Shanny made him do was get rid of his channel with 10,000 subs. The views weren't that great, but he still had the sub count. Even then, that was pretty good, and he actually did it, which I don't understand. I mean, if the money's going to her, what's her problem? So I think it's a whole 100% jealousy thing. So I just wanted to clear that up. That's why he streams here and not really particularly his channel, which obviously he could.
And I love doing it. It's like radio's everything to me. Like, I really enjoy radio, and I would like to get into it. And I should be pursuing that, and I think I'm probably going to. But it's like when you're living the way we're living right now, and you just don't know where you're going to be, it's very hard to start thinking about, like, okay, here's step one of career. You get what I'm saying? Here's step one. You do this. Well, you don't have a phone either, really.
Well, you know, again, that's a lot your fault, right, bro? You're the one who's refusing to work. And even if you can't work because you're my mentals, why don't you just go to the state and ask for some help? Temporary assistance. There is things that can be done pretty quick. I mean, everything is pretty crazy, especially right now in the government system, especially in Pennsylvania, a huge state. But with all that being said, he could still get some sort of temporary assistance, get $250 a month, and Shanny would get the same. That's 500 right there. This is all like his e-begging, grifting. I need my quote unquote medicine money that he's looking for.
You're running on these free phone numbers that go away, like, if you don't use them every day. So
Yeah, exactly.
there's a lot of craziness right now. But if I'm really thinking
Hey,
about it, I
Baptized.
want to be in radio because I
What's
really
up?
do enjoy it.
Buddy,
like
what's
this
up,
segment,
buddy?
Show Shanny and me by giving it the views and sharing it out there. And yeah, that's the best thing I could say to you. So here we go. You guys know where I come from.
You know what, Audie? That's funny because most of the time people say I can't shut up. But I appreciate the compliment. And you know what? I can be wrong on a lot of stuff. And, you know, I'm wrong on things. But I think the difference is, you know, owning up to that, saying, yeah, I was wrong. I made a mistake, and learning from that mistake and moving forward. You know, I make mistakes. Sometimes I'll write things that maybe come off in a different way, and I try to explain that so people understand I'm not coming off that way. This is where my thinking is coming from a couple of years of doing this type of work, where people will take information and then turn around on you. But I do appreciate the compliment.
And my main news source, you know what it used to be. Let's just say that I have grown a lot in terms of the type of media that I choose to partake in.
Not
now,
in his baby
I
carrot.
will still be a supporter of that organization, all right? Because I do believe, and I have seen firsthand from the people that are involved with said organization, that they do pursue the truth, okay? Regardless of the head of the organization and what you think of that individual, okay, AJ? Regardless of that stuff, the mission statement of the organization stands of what it's always been. And it's like the truth is out there. You know, it's like the X-Files. The truth is out there. You just gotta find it. So I'm the same person I was when I woke up in 2008, thanks to that guy. Okay?
I mean, I'm listening to him and I'm getting Summer Shriner, I think that's her name, vibes. I don't know if you guys are sub to that chapter. If you're not, he's like a true crime channel. He's really great. You should check him out. He just did a video on somebody that was talking about the same crazy nonsense that Rev talks about all the time. And what's wrong with that, or wrong, is people will take that and they'll do serious consequences with stuff said on the internet that has no receipts or proof to it. You know, you should always take anything said on the internet with a grain of salt, and always look into things to see if there's any truth behind them. Because the stuff that Rev spouts out, there's people out there that might believe it. A small amount, folks, but still. And that's where the problem's going to occur.
In the years ensuing, is said individual perfect? Hell no, of course not. And
Yeah.
in fact,
Yeah,
it
he's
looks like
great.
even gone back into alcoholism and whatever. You know, nobody's perfect. That includes Donald Trump. And just so who you know I am. I'm a guy on the internet that believes in end-time prophecy. I'm a prophecy
Hey,
buff.
Luna,
I'm
what's
a guy
up?
that studied it. I have hundreds of hours of study in the book of Revelation alone. So that was my thing. It was following the headlines and looking at the Bible and going, wow, okay, we're seeing it. Or it's going that way. We see it going that way. And now we're living.
It's really not 100% on his own, Audie, because Shanny is like literally like, you know, she's not far behind. You know, you can hear her breathing. You know, because she wants to make sure that he doesn't say nothing wrong especially on her Twitch.
Living in a world where Russia and Iran are on the same page. Okay, that, like, if you're talking prophecy, it's huge. And Jesus, you could see him in the clouds, man. He's that close.
Hey,
like
Danica,
the
what's
things
up?
that were written of, how many, I don't know, 1,000 years ago in the case of prophecies in the Old Testament, whatever. Okay, we're going, well, no, it's 2,000 years since Christ. We're talking 4,000-year-old prophecies where you have Russia and Iran.
someone over here. Actually, now I can see the chat, the Rev's chat. What kind of radio did you used to listen to? It was called Blog Talk Radio. So he had to pay to do that. So he really didn't get money for that. But that's something him and G-Man did, but not, on their own respective channels. But it wasn't on YouTube, not yet. And then he switched over to YouTube kind of when those podcasts and those little radio channels kind of died off, and kind of YouTube took supremacy over everything.
And coming together in a military alliance against Israel, which these things have built over the years. But to have been written at 4,000 years ago or whatever, man, 3,000 years ago, and you're starting to see it.
She's watching the PayPal. Yeah.
Everything is the global community.
You know it.
Okay? But I'm doing this to just give you kind of an introduction to who you're talking to. My name is Jason William Egroff. I'm coined myself as Revelation News.
Hey,
and I had a radio show that was having hundreds of thousands of people listening to it every day. Like, we were big. We were really, really going places. I was invited to the Prophecy Conference in 2000 and I believe 17, to the Branson Conference, to, like, if they were encouraging me to write books, to start promoting books. Like, I was in it, you know what I mean? And the people that I was involved with, just, like, it was the greatest experience of my life, to have these connections with these people, and then they become your real-life friends.
And, like, all these things he's talking about, the Prophecy Club, channel, whatever, and the other one, they're, like, cult channels, And that's what bothers me, Like, I know I say I believe, but I didn't believe all my life, folks. Happened. I don't know why that froze right there. There was a long period where I did not believe. And then I was an atheist for a while, and then I was a Satanist for a while, and I looked into different things. And all I'm trying to say is, I think I have a good understanding for what religion is. I looked into others to see if it was similar, but I hate when some religions get too culty. You know what I mean? When it's too culty, that's when you gotta dip out.
And it's just really beautiful, you know what I mean? But I was pretty much offered a position at InfoWars, and Owen Schroyer is the one that came in instead of me, pretty much. Like, Alex was pretty ready to hire me, but I wanted to do Revelation News, and he understood that. Like I did not take a position at InfoWars because I wanted to build Revelation News, and Alex was like, "That's it, do it." Like, you know what I mean? And that's why it's really hard for me, because I know that in a lot of ways, Alex had a massive fall here with the Trump years, because he signed on to something. And once you sign on to it, you own it. And I think it was financially motivated as well. I don't worship these people. You know what I mean? I don't worship Alex or Trump. Okay.
Oh, so, yes, you do.
Will I support him in 2024? Absolutely. I'm
Look at that neck.
A Republican now. My entire political life, I stood in the middle and said, okay, I'm going to try and get my ideas out. I'm going to call myself a...
The worst thing about his neck is, if this is not drug related, allegedly, then he should have went to a doctor years ago. If I would have met him within the first 10 minutes of talking to him, I'd be like, dude, you need a shower, and you gotta really get that neck checked out, because one day you're gonna do that and it's gonna stick like that forever, and you ain't gonna be able to, unhinge from that position. So you might want to get that checked out. That don't look too good. You're convulsing almost. I mean, I don't think that's from alcoholism. I mean, I've seen some hardcore alcoholics and they didn't do that.
I was a registered libertarian. So I got the emails, I donated to the cause, all that stuff. Libertarianism, which I still believe in, but here's the problem with the Libertarian Party. They will never have a chance. Period. When you're dealing in this system that we have currently, this is what I came to an understanding in my maturity, okay? In walking everyday life and seeing that, okay, this system is not going to change. Unless there's some kind of massive political upheaval in the next election, which could very well happen. I don't believe civil war is a thing. I don't think, there's too many good people that would say, no, this is not the way of Jesus. There's too many good people that would stand down and say, I'm a Christian, or even I'm an atheist. It doesn't matter. I don't believe in violence like this to get any kind of agenda through. We're going to do the headlines, don't worry. I want to kind of reintroduce myself, because
he wants to reintroduce himself. I'm thinking about that song. But you know what? I don't like people that uses religion as a shield. How about that, Rev? I don't like people that say some nasty stuff and do nasty things, get caught up, and then your response is, well, I'm just a Christian and you're not, and that's your problem with me. Because it makes anybody that believes a nutcase. And I don't like that, because not everyone who believes is a nutcase. That's actually closed-minded attitude. To not believe is a closed-minded attitude, in my opinion. But now, like I said, folks, I've had a long time to think all this through. I just don't go into it because, I feel like a debate on that type of way is a different story. But that being said, everything that he says bothers me because it makes people that believe crazy or look like crazy.
There's been so much, I'm sorry if you're Christian, but dog shit. There's been so much dog shit thrown against the wall, and the wall is my name, that it's very hard for me to feel like it's appropriate for me to even to come on here and read the news to you and go, okay, so here's how I feel about it, because that's what you're going to get, okay? You have to know at least who basically I am. So I am a conservative Christian Republican WASP.
Oh!
I'm a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
Okay. I said that. Didn't I say that? There you go. Hold on. I need a clap. I said that in the video, and people were like, "Wasp? What are you talking about?" And I really didn't want to go into it, but Shanny has a wasp tattoo on her thumb. White Anglo-Saxon Protestant. That's what she said. That's just what he said. And well, in my experience, that's the next step from you know what. just saying. And I'm the only one that's called it out, like the tattoo, because I have tattoos. They're interesting, and I've seen many tattoos. But when it's a cross with the raises of lights on both sides, that's a wasp tattoo. That means something, folks.
Saxony, Germany blood in me. Okay, so I atone. I have been atoning, I believe, for the sins of my people through my life. With my dad died when I was 7, so that's like cutting my daughter as a male child right there. And I listen. I was raised by a single mother my whole life. Okay, I'm pro single moms. They're amazing.
Tattoos are satanic.
But a dad is like, I'd probably be a mechanic right now.
No, you wouldn't.
100%, I think, because I found it.
Says the guy who can't even change a tire. You were gonna be a mechanic. I was a mechanic, and no, they would have laughed at you. You couldn't even take a Allen wrench and unscrew lug nuts. Come on.
Awesome. When my dad was underneath the car, fiddling with it, and I wanted to be under that car with him, checking it out too. Like totally, I was into it with him. And he's like, "All right, Jay, come on, But your dad dies at 7, and it's like a lot. Like my life stopped. Like I stopped playing organ. I was actually being trained classically in organ.
Oh my God, I thought he meant something else, folks. I thought he meant something else. When he said he was playing with his organ, I thought he meant something else. Like Baby Carrot vibes.
And my dad and he'd sit next to me, and it was like very, a dad thing. And when he passed, it was like I dropped the organ. And it's like my mom wanted me staying in the house all the time because
I just got a dirty mind.
Afraid, what the hell? Billy just dropped dead. What's going to happen to Jason? Nothing's going to happen to Jason. That was my mom's mindset, So a lot
she
of
was right.
Like this cloistered, stay at home kid.
She was right. Nothing happened to you because nothing did. And like, I'm sorry, Rev, not to speak ill of the deceased, but like, your mom failed you. She left you alone with all that money, knowing that you didn't know anything besides tying your own shoes. What kind of person does that? That's such an irresponsible thing to do, to have somebody give essentially a child, mentally you're still a child, that much money. And where you could be manipulated by a big woman who had children and you thought you needed to help them. And then you were an addict, alcoholic yourself. You really didn't come to terms with your alcoholism. You just went right into taking care of Shane and those kids. And then what'd you do, Rev? Then you attacked them, right? You attacked them because you never you never closed the book on your alcoholism. And you probably didn't close the book on your parents' deaths, But that's my opinion. And I think if you did, you probably wouldn't have put your hands on children because you would have known that means something to do that, right? That's going to scar them for life. Just like you were scarred for life. Just what you just said when your father passed at 7. So let's continue, folks. Thanks for y'all being here.
And it's like now I find myself in real life situation where it's like, yeah, the money's gone. And it's like, wow, that's some stress. It really is. Because I was kind of silver spoony in the mouth, not super much money, obviously. But taken care of. And then it just went away because of various things, mainly because we had to move so much. It's not because Shanny spent the money. It's like that's those narratives that these people draw is all based on views for their channels. That's what you need to understand. When you're hearing...
Okay. I just want to... you hear what he's saying? Like, I'm telling you, folks, like, I'm probably one of the straightest, what you see is what you get channels you'll ever see here on YouTube. Like, I don't lie when it comes to this stuff. People get mad at me sometimes when I am telling the truth, but like, I just try to set things straight so people know up front what the game is. This is the game. She's saying, "Oh, they don't even know us. Ha 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 ha. They don't even know where we are. Ha 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 ha. You know, that they just want it for their channels. Ha 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 ha." And that's the narrative that they will run. They'll run with that forever until people will finally get the story right. That's why it's so important, if you're going to do stuff like this, to look into the Lord, to look into how they are, just to look into their ways of thinking and acting and manipulating people. And then when you realize what it is, it's all a big gold grift, that they really won't give up those cats. Believe me, they care more about those cats than they do those children. And that's so unfortunate. I'm sure those animals probably don't even have clean water or a place to take a litter box to take a crap in. But, you know, with them, if they had to give up those cats, that's admitting defeat in their minds. And people need to understand that if they're going to cover this, because if they don't, then Rev and Shanny will just throw that back to people. See, this is just for views for their channel. And we don't want that, folks. You know, we want to be channels that show the truth against their lies. You know what I mean?
Reaction channel videos about me and Shanny, you're hearing a narrative that's been drawn like a screenplay. These people have made a script of who we are as opposed to actually who we are. So like, if you want to know who we are, come to this channel and hang out with us, because we're pretty chill people, man. We've gone through a lot, and we have like PTSD and stuff. And I apologize ahead of time to any audience. I don't have the chat up right now because the best way I deal with this is not looking at.
Well, Rev looks like he's, you know, 2 shakes to the wind right now. Like, he's very, like, I got him pretty fast, but you know, yeah, he barely looks like he's always looking at Shanny to make sure that what he's saying is approval. He needs to make sure that he's not gonna get beat later with some sort of fetish whip for saying the wrong thing.
At that, because it's been pretty triggering for me at this point, and I can fly off at the mouth because I
Charlie, what's up?
Schizoaffective disorder and elements of bipolar, and I don't want to go off on people. I'm not with my medication right now, so the best thing for everybody, including me and Shanny, so I don't start yelling all this.
Yeah, it's definitely sus, Leash, right?
This is a headline show, and that's just an opener to tell you who I am, you know. And I'm the same person I was back then. It's just, I think I've matured a lot, especially in the sense of accepting the views of others. Because when you're in an ivory tower like I was with $700,000 in savings in the stock market, and you're getting $4,000 a month to live on, and you're happy as you're solid.
Oh wow!
Like, you don't have any worries really. That's kind of where I was at. And then you get a drastic change, like.
All right, I know it's gonna come up, but yeah, thank you so much, Crash. You are definitely the MVP of the channel. People like you and people that send out the cash apps and say, "Hey man, can you do this video, or can you just do this? I want to hear you. Like, I like the way you make videos." Like, I really, 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 really appreciate it. And, you know, I definitely respect it. I hold it in such high regard, because half the time, yeah, it's sometimes I don't want to do things, but it's you guys, the audience now, that makes it a lot easier. I mean, if it wasn't for a live audience, I probably wouldn't even do videos anymore. Just because, like, it's not fun without engaging with you guys. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, just for everything.
It's like jumping. It's like fish out of water, and it's like there is a moment when you're feeling like, holy crap, I can't believe this. This is living. But I want to thank everybody that supported me over at the PayPal address you see right here. Thank you for all the support that you've given.
Okay, so Alicia, congrats. You got one, and let's see who else got one. Minty got one. Congrats. Oh, Channel, you got one too. That's awesome. See, it's cool when I see people that have been here a bit. I'm like, oh look, you just got a member. And Abracadabra, you got one too. And Rua, you got another one? I thought you had one. But thank you, Crash. I do appreciate it. And folks, be sure to thank Crash. He's in the chat. He's a cool guy.
Me, because you've helped me and Shanny survive. You really have. In every way you could imagine, and the cats, you've helped the cats. So we want to bless you and thank you for everything that you've done for us. And I even, well, then that works. That for some reason you guys don't really, you don't like us, but you have given to us to help us out with just thank you, you know, because that really is like Jesus. We're two people that have nothing currently, and it's charity, and it goes to stuff that we need, every bit of it. So we
Delta
really
A,
for every bit of
folks.
support that you give us. All right, so let's do the headlines. I'm using Drudge Report, okay, drudgereport.com. It's Matt Drudge's website. Matt Drudge is an independent thinker. He likes freedom of speech. He's into free press, which I am as well. I love the concept of free press, and it always needs to remain without checks at all, free. Run a story about the president, do it, yes. Once you start thinking we can't run this because this could damage the president.
She's kind of been she's been working, and at nights, you know, she has to get up in the morning for the kids and stuff. So usually around 8, 9 o'clock. But she's got to be in bed. But you know what? I need to get her to do some more videos, hopefully on the weekends. The weekends is where Renee would be able to do some more videos.
What are you doing?
But I'll let her know.
You can't be political and an active member of the press. That's the way I see it. You have to
He's
be
an idiot. Hey,
unbiased
Christy.
in terms of your party and your affiliation personally. Because if you look at Trump, if you got a Trumper that's
Right.
a Fox News person, and there's a story saying that Trump had his hand up the skirt of a 12-year-old girl, okay,
What?
he's not going to go with that story because it's his guy. Do you get what I'm saying? And we can't have any of that in the press, because then you get despots in office.
You know, it's funny that Rev is such a fence sitter, you know? Like, he loves Trump, but then he'll talk about this, and it's just like so weird. Like, he's like that with everything. And Shanny's kind of like that too. Like, they'll love something, and then they'll hate it, then they'll love it, then they'll hate it. I don't believe it. I believe that they just say things, you know, because it'll be salacious. You know what I mean?
That's just what happens. And that's what we've been dealing with, because we know CNN is left. Fox is right, as much right as they go. And then you had independent voices out there. Okay?
Be careful,
and they have been
Crash.
summarily silenced by discriminating against them in advertising. Isn't that incredible? They use the hand that's in the glove, right? It's the government, right? The actual hand that's pushing these media organizations down that are independent-minded. It's actually the government, but they're doing it through Google advertising, shutting down their advertising, so they're not getting any paychecks. Isn't that incredible? But the one guy famously that they've done that to, he got around that shit by selling his stuff and having a server himself, doing his own stuff. Now he put a ton of money into it, and who knows how much he's worth. There were some crazy numbers I heard, though. Making something like $300 million a year back in 2018. What? I'm a humble guy, you know. I don't know. Well, hey, what's a lot to you, Alex? Holy shit, to $300 million a year. That's pretty. I hope you saved. Anyway, first headline, and this is the first thing I seen when I pulled this up. It's like, whoa, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. You see Nancy there. That screen is probably too bright for you to see it. I should turn down the contrast. Can I do that? Yeah, could you see it better then? I'm not sure. Maybe. Yeah, you could see it better.
10 years, folks.
So I'm going to pull...
That's some good content from people that have been doing this 10, 15, 20 years on YouTube. If they've been doing it this long, why can't they just like pull it up like how I can do it without it blinding everybody's face?
This Pelosi gives up leadership. This is from AP. Pelosi to step aside from Dem leadership, but she's going to remain in Congress. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said Thursday that she will not seek a leadership position in the new Congress, making way for a new generation to steer the party after Democrats lost control of the House of Representatives in the midterm elections. See, I didn't follow this because we were out of internet, and the elections happened when we had no internet. Like
I hear you, Adi.
I love that stuff. I love politics. I do. And that's why I chose a side. When I had to renew my license and they said, you want to change your party? I said, absolutely. I'm a Republican. Thank you. Because the woke shit and the left have just pushed me over there. Now,
aren't you like too poor to be Republican? Isn't that how this works?
The Republicans are this. I'm getting squashed basically at this point because the Republicans have chosen to die on their argument of abortion. Is holy crap! You guys, you could have completely sweeped.
He's like, you guys, all you guys to do is call me up. You need some kids murdered. Oh, I'm your man. Sorry. I'm sorry. That was in poor taste. I see that now. As soon as it left my lips, I'm like, this is wrong.
A total sweep, the House and the Senate in the midterms, if you didn't push this crazy abortion ban stuff.
Yeah, he's in the 1%.
Stop that. I'm telling you as a Republican brother, okay? Stop making women criminals for having health care, okay? I'm a Republican conservative pro-life person. Yes, that's what I am. But you can't take health care rights away from women because they cease being humans. You know why Roe v. Wade was such an important decision? Because it is a cornerstone in human rights in the country, in the courts. Do you not understand that? And abortion has to be safe and legal for the sake of mothers' lives. Number one. Okay, the Hippocratic Oath says the number one thing is you do no harm, right? By saying you can't have these procedures, you are doing harm to women. Period. And I'm telling you that I believe that life begins at conception in the womb. When that spark happens, and if you haven't seen that video, it's absolutely amazing, okay? You look up light spark in the womb or whatever. They have video of it.
You don't even have the name.
At that moment, there is a boom, an explosion of light that happens. Now you tell me what that is. I know what that is. That's life. Because life is light, and Jesus is the light, and light represents everything that's holy and good, and righteous is the light. The light is righteous. And the darkness is where the lies hide, and that stuff.
Hey, I don't know about you folks, but I always get my political advice from a guy that doesn't have a pot to piss in. It's just, that's what you do. You know, who else would know the insides of the government and everything? You know, this guy would. How else am I going to find out that Nancy Pelosi is some sort of reptilian monster? Rev's got the inside scoop, folks.
But then if you want to go into masonry, I'm not going to really, I don't like going into it, but the dark has its aspects too that are not evil. But I'm going to let that go because that's esoteric stuff, and I'm talking about Nancy Pelosi, very worldly stuff here. Okay?
You wouldn't.
Pelosi announced in a spirited speech on the House floor that she will step aside after leading Democrats for nearly 20 years, and in the aftermath of the brutal attack of her husband, which, can I condemn that? I heard about that, and Shanny, what an awful thing to do to a man that, look.
Fallen Star, this is just what Rev does, and he's done this a lot. Every time they get some medicine, quote unquote, Rev will just go off on conspiracies, politics for like an hour. He's done this so many times. And so, yeah, he's flying pretty good right now. That's why he keeps looking over to the left or to, his right.
Can I say something that really I think needs to be said? Because I'm British, right? I have a lot of British blood. The majority of my blood is British. And I respect the crown. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I know that they're elitists and they charge their citizenry for their existence, which is
street
insane.
preachers.
When the queen has so much money in oil, it makes no sense. You guys can afford to take care of your own kids.
Near.
But I digress. But I honor the crown. Like, I've got Davis blood. Like, there's definitely, like, you want to make me a replacement for Harry, I'd take that because I would respect the crown. I respect the powers that be because the Bible says to do that. You know, a lot of truthers like to be like, well, screw the government. And what? You're not reading the Bible, though. And then
Yeah, we got King Ralph over here. I think he just wants to spot a dick.
I want to say Romans 13 is out of context when it says obey the government, but it does say that. Okay, the powers have been ordained by God. And it's understood that we get bad governments, but that's because we're not praying and being good with
King
God.
Rev.
That's how we get bad government. That's what's in the Bible. Okay, so I totally condemn any kind of violence against politicians. That's not the way we do this, especially if you're a Christian. Okay, but you got to know your Bible, and you got to go to city council and stuff. And I'm guilty. Like, I've been a vagabond and with no home right now. But when I get to a place that's solid,
here come the cops.
Be an active like city councilman person.
I wish the cops would bang on the door. Give us those cats, you awful animal abusers. Charlie go, oh well, the uncle didn't give Rev money or Shanny. They got donations the other day from people, and I'm guessing with the donations they went out and got their medicine because they're in such pain because they work so hard every day.
That's a city council goer, you know, because it's important to be there for the community and call out bullshit. Like, local governments get away with a lot of like
you are not British, right?
and they say we're going to give you new roads so the taxes go up, right? I dealt with this the entire time I was living in Scranton. It's like, are you guys ever going to do the roads? I paid $4,000 this year in taxes. That's no lie. I paid my fucking taxes. Okay.
What?
I paid $4,000 in city tax. Are you guys going to fix?
Yeah. How? When? He's saying he paid $4,000, folks, in city tax. When? When you were running away from Colorado, you owe like $9,000 on that place, and you owe a couple, $1,000 or something, or 12. 13, 1400 on this motel. So you're just ranking up the charges, but you still had time to pay Uncle Sam the $4,000. Well, good for you. What an American.
The roads, no, never happened. Okay, so you need to be active on city council and stuff like that for when that type of stuff's going on, because your government is not giving you care and they're not giving you proper representation basically ever. Okay, and I think most people understand that.
No, Amber, they're at the uncle's house.
And I'm saying this from, oh my God, I'm honored. You know, I got to look it up, but I'm pretty sure that high school buddy of mine. Okay, well, not in high school. We weren't. He was on the football team, and I was the fat tool, wearing a tool hoodie all the time, fat kid. Okay, so we still loved each other though.
Oh, hey Anna, what's up? Well, they say Delta 8, but the way they act and the things they do, I just find it so hard to believe. And maybe, you know what? Hey, to morons, maybe this is their crack. But I just find it so hard to believe that they would throw everything away for some cheap synthetic marijuana that's like 20% of what regular marijuana is, considering that they used to have real marijuana and stronger marijuana when they lived in Colorado all those years until they came back to Pennsylvania. So it's just hard to believe that they would die on this hill for some Delta 8.
But we hung out constantly when I was younger, like young, like 10. I used to go over to Kyle Mullins. He ran for House of Representatives of the state of Pennsylvania, and I'm pretty sure he won it. And that's I would endorse him. Like, I'm a Republican, he's a Democrat.
He-Man gave me the best dick the other day. It was so good.
Crash Cootercoot donated $5 through Super Chat. Donate if you can, people. If you don't, I'm going to post foot pics on Draven's Discord.
Oh no, not the foot pics. Thanks, Crash. I appreciate it, bro. And yo, be safe. Don't be driving 90 miles an hour out there in the truck.
But I would endorse him because I know he's such a good person. He's very, like, God-believing, beautiful person. You know, he really is. So
no, probably not, Heather.
That's amazing. But anyway, let's get back to the article. Sorry.
He doesn't even have a working car.
Horrible what happened to Nancy Pelosi's husband? The California Democrat who rose to become the nation's only woman to wield the Speaker's gavel said that she would remain in Congress as a
Tanaka Jed has just donated $10 through Super Chat.
Oh, thank you, Danica. Is it Danica or Danaka? Now, thanks. Thank you, robot voice. Now you just made me feel weird. I've been pronouncing this woman's name wrong. Thanks. Thank you, robot. Character on the floor laughing really. Thank you. Adderall and opiates. Oh, what? Truthfully, Trisha? What? I'm playing, but it's got to be something because Rev is sped up tonight.
Representative from San Francisco, a position she's held for 35 years when the new Congress convenes in January. I will not seek re-election to Democratic leadership in the next Congress. For me, the hour has come for the new generation to lead the Democratic caucus that I so deeply respect. Who are they going to choose for the Speaker? You guys choose well, okay? Please. For both sides, okay? Choose well. Don't, not AOC. Okay, please. Please. Have it be Blue Dog Democrat. Show some goodwill because there's red.
Okay, so, well, is it Tanaka? If it's Tanaka, put a 1 in the chat. And then I'll call you that from now on. But I am so sorry if I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
Do you get what I'm saying, Democrats? Like,
Hey,
get together
Patty.
and do some good stuff for the country. Because the president's MIA. God bless him. Like, and I mean that. Okay, I mean God bless Joe Biden because he needs prayer.
You know, everybody, Patty's here, so shh, we can't talk about her anymore. So shh. I'm just playing. What's up?
He's like Nebuchadnezzar. Like
He's
and
tweaking.
It's like, he's like out in the front lawn of the White House, and he's doing this, folks. Running like this to the chopper. The emperor has no clothes. Joe Biden has no brain, folks. Okay, we have the scarecrow.
Oh, damn, with an eye.
He needs a blanket. That's and I mean that kindly. Like, seriously, it's insane. But we got Trump running in 2024. We must boldly move into the future. Pelosi received a standing ovation after her remarks, and lawmakers guests one by one went up to her, offer hugs, many taking selfies, a moment in history. President Joe Biden spoke with Pelosi in the morning and congratulated her on her historic tenure as Speaker of the House. History will note she is the most consequential Speaker of the House of Representatives.
And there was no way for him to vote because his car doesn't even have car insurance. They can't even walk anywhere, you know? If anyone's walking, it's Rev. Shanny's sitting her fat ass at the uncle's house.
Representatives in our history. Joe, come on. You can kiss ass if you want to, I guess. All right? We can talk about Speakers of the House in history, I guess. You're gonna cut out the founding Congress. I mean that's some heroes, Joe. She's the most consequential. Well, he says that because she's also the first and only woman speaker. Well, that's fine. You know, whatever. Biden said in a statement noting her ability to win
$800. I spent 100.
He-Man gave me the best dick the other day. It was so good.
Brett Von Helton donated
$800.
$5 through
He-Man
Super
gave me
Chat.
the best.
Someone needs to throw a fucking brick through that window to shut him up.
Yo, I forgot the robot can swear. Yo, can you imagine? He'd be like, oh, and then like this brick comes through the window. He'd be like, oh my god, oh, that's smart, oh. Or maybe it would knock some sense into him. Be like, I need to get out of here. This house stinks like shit. Oh. Thanks, Brett.
Unity from her caucus and her absolute dignity. She has
Caucus.
perfect dignity. Nancy Pelosi. All right.
I love it when Rev says caucus.
Leaders anonymous. It's an unusual choice for a party leader to stay on after withdrawing from congressional leadership, but Pelosi has long defied convention in pursuing power in Washington.
For that.
So there you go. That's one of them. Now this tablet is, I like this tablet, but it's like I'm not good with the browser or nothing on this because I don't use. Okay, it works like that. Okay. Let's see.
It's all over the place.
That's so divisive. I don't want it. Like we should probably have a little bit of comic relief. We have the Don. Look at the Don. We got to go bigly. We got to bigly go big. We got to boldly go bigly. Okay?
What?
We got to boldly go bigly. And what does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what it means. It means we're going to Mars and we're putting a flag on it. That's what Trump said. And I oh my God, Donald, please, when you do this, I know it's going to happen, all right? So when you do this.
Well, curious. I don't know if you watched my last stream where I kind of broke down where they kind of showed. I even put in my in the comments. I put down timestamps of when Shanny showed the house and the banister, and that's when I knew right away that they were at the uncle's house, which used to be Rev's house that he gave to the uncle. It's kind of poetically fun in that way, and or they shouted me out, but I think the only reason why they got in there is because it was snowing pretty bad that day. And I'm sure that after Rev was on the news and it was snowing, I'm sure the uncle probably took pity on them. But I still think this is a temporary situation. I can't foresee the uncle keeping them here longer than maybe a month. But it's like, it's hard, around the holidays to like kick your family members out, You're like, oh, Thanksgiving, oh, Christmas. And you're like, get out. So that's why I think he's just being manipulated at this point. But I can't see them being here for long without Rev or Shanny or both of them getting a job or some sort of disability or something like that. Just so they don't have to keep begging for money online.
Please have a flag that says Trump on it next to it. The first property on Mars is Trump's
Same
property.
here, Charlie.
That's it. The American flag with the Trump flag. That's it.
He's on Mars.
But we're going bigly, and it's bold. We're going to Mars and we're putting the flag on Mars. That's it. It's ours. Okay? Make Mars great again. I'm doing this story, definitely. Donald Trump makes bizarre promise to plant the American flag on Mars very soon. Oh, my God.
Oh!
The former president made the speech in his unusual combative style. Why do you add that? This is a media article. Okay, it's the Daily Star, so I'm not going to, we're not talking the New York Times, but they're probably worse at this point. Why? You just put that there. His unusual combative style, despite many in his own part. But honey, that's like, it's like deliberately, it's poisoning the well. It is. When you frame something immediately like this.
Trump doesn't poison the well, ever.
No, he does it too, but the point is,
the point is he's getting what he deserves.
Yeah, I guess. Despite many in his own party believing.
Well, it seems like they can't leave this spot. This house has an upstairs and bedrooms, but they have like a sheet and they're on the couch downstairs. There's a window behind them, like Brett was saying, and to the right is a banister and it goes upstairs. It seems like they're not allowed to leave this general area. Maybe the uncle's trying to keep their stank to one area of the house. This way it'd be a lot easier to clean when they leave.
He no longer has enough to support to beat Democrats in the election. I don't think that's true. I think his loyal people are still there. But he better pick a good person to run with. None of that Rhino Pence bullshit, Donald. Don't go that way this time.
Go
not.
Kanye.
We're not doing the alt-right Nazi stuff. No.
No,
and
man,
because Donald,
it's him telling who he truly is, man. Let him be who he is.
He's not a Nazi, for flip's sake.
Okay.
He's just not.
Okay.
He's lived in New York his whole life, working with Jews constantly.
Okay,
He's not a Nazi.
fine.
Donald Trump floated
I love
a
when
range of
they
bizarre
fight.
ideas as a part of a speech he gave announcing he will run for president in 2024, including a mission to in space. The former U.S. president mentioned space flight to Mars, where he claimed the U.S. would plant our beautiful American flag very soon, and a defense shield to protect our people from the unthinkable threat of nuclear weapons.
Check this out.
I mean, well, hey, maybe he's on for, I don't know. He hasn't killed any. He hasn't ethnically cleansed, as far as I know yet. Trump has been long expected to announce he is running for in 2024, though the recent midterm elections, where Republicans did much worse than predicted, did cast doubt on his ability to repeat his 2016 victory. I can tell you for a fact there was probably massive ballot bullshit with the midterms, because there should have been a red wave.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Just
thinking.
total red, everybody red, because of the economy and how disgusting
Right.
it's been to live under Democratic leadership of no leadership with the economy, with inflation absolutely strangling families. I thought it was the Democratic Party that loved families and taking care of families. Do you realize that there are children starving? Do you know how the food banks are absolutely pushed to the limit? They can't even keep the stuff. We were using food banks.
Oh, I were
And
using
CPS
food
was giving
banks.
us money through food banks. This is absolutely horrible. And if you think that I'm going to stand in the middle and go, well, I'm a libertarian and I'm above the system, then you can fucking forget it.
Okay, other side of that coin, you just said you were using CPS to get food and everything. Well, if you guys think that you'd be able to get those kids back, you could fucking forget it. Because if they need if you need their help, then they see like how broke you guys both are.
With this kind of disgusting non-leadership, I choose a side. And it's not the one that's there right now, because he's doing nothing. Our currency is worth dog shit. And look, there's even concern, like I talk to smart people that I know, and they say that the dollar is worth too much. Holy shit.
Oh, thank you, Crash, for the cash app. He's in meth overdrive. I appreciate it, Crash. Thank you. Just make sure you don't crash on the road, though. You know, especially at night. You know, I'm sure driving an 18-wheeler in these cold conditions is probably a lot difficult in the air brakes. So please be careful out there, bro.
You want zero? You want no worth to your money. None. Do you realize that the last months that Trump was in office, we had $1.15 a gallon gas in Colorado? $1.15 a gallon. That's because this dude he did it. He's hugging the flag there. This is the Don. It's weird, man. It's really weird. You have Trumpers that are really weird in that they worship. Like, they have a gold statue that they genuflect to and bow to. I'm not one of those people. I'm just one of those guys that's like, man, he's messed up in a lot of ways. But it's just like, I don't know. There's just something.
Look who's talking. They
I had
both
sex
are.
with 8 men in one session.
Jesus.
I like to push myself when I swing.
Yo, what did he just say? Please, somebody clip that. Somebody clip that.
One session.
Jesus.
I like to push myself when I swing. Wow, that's not Christian at all, but that's just what came up on the star. Like, what the hell? Go back to the Trump article. I don't need that. Jeez.
Sure.
I mean, I have my sins. Porn is bad for me. Get out of here. I don't need to see this chick. All right. In a speech given at Mar-a-Lago Resort, he said, "We will expand the frontiers of human knowledge, and we'll extend the horizons of human achievement, and we'll plant our beautiful American flag very soon on the surface of Mars." That's a quote from Donald Trump. Absolutely, we're doing it. All right? Even if it's fake, and it's on a back lot in...
You like that? You like that, you fat fucking...
Crash Cootercoot donated
You like
$2
that?
through Super Chat. He would bow to a bag of DTA 8.
Yes, TTA. And Charlene, thank you also for the cash app. I do appreciate it. I was actually pausing it to say thank you to her, and then I'm like, oh, it's coming on here. Like, oh no, that's Crash. But I agree though, Crash. He would definitely bow down for a bag of Delta.
in Hollywood, like they did with the moon landing. Oh, am I one of them? Maybe.
You definitely are.
There are people from the unthinkable threat of nuclear
I'm
weapons
one of
and
them.
hypersonic missiles. The United States must also build a state-of-the-art next-generation missile defense shield. We need it. That's the president saying it, the former president. The power of these missiles and the power of a word, I refuse to say
Yeah,
nuclear.
I know.
We have to have it. He's afraid of nukes dropping. He's afraid that Vladimir goes, yep, do it. He's afraid of it. The speech was also filled with the usual barbs against Democrats and the deep state. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure,
Why
so
don't
no
you
problem.
report on the deep state? Who's the deep state? Why don't you report on the deep state ever? Because they pay your paychecks. Anyway, and the need to drain the swamp, absolutely. But see, the problem is that you have a two-party system, and this does smell in both parties. And I say that as a Republican.
Dude, it's just you guys, okay? Just I know the politics don't look good lately, but the smell you're referring to that's just you guys.
Okay, we have a dirty closet that needs to be cleaned out. It really smells bad. Like your body in there. Yeah, more than a few probably. Okay.
Yeah, show me your bathroom, Rev. Show me the bathroom. Show me the tub. That's fucking balls coming from him.
We got to acknowledge that the parties both have sins, and they need to come to the light. And if you're guilty of something, you're going away. That's it. We need to get the corruption out of the two-party system. If we're going to do this bullshit with these two fucking bullshit parties, we got to clean the parties up. And get people in the offices like my buddy Kyle Mullins. More people like him. That's an everyday friggin' individual that loves the country and really is a patriot. That's definitely Kyle. Okay? Loves the country. Loves the opportunities he got to grow up white. Go into a white school.
No. Yo, I'll just say this. Isn't it funny that a guy that had a house that looked like this is saying something stinks? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That's disgusting. That was their bathroom, folks. And he's saying something smells. I'm just saying, you know, it's good to have receipts, okay? It's good to have receipts, folks.
You like that? You
Goes to
like
college
that,
and
you
he becomes-
fat
Oh.
fucking
Crash Cooter
You
Coot
like
donated
that?
$2
You
through
like-
Super Chat. Call me Daddy, please, because ISM Daddy.
ISM. Okay, Daddy Coot. How about that? Yeah, get to scrubbing, right, Danica? It's so funny. It's so funny that, like, you know, Rev talks smack about other stuff that quote unquote stinks, but you know, look at his house from not that long ago. I remember when that was happening live, and he was trying to blame other people. Like, really, other people ran into your house and put cat crap all over your bathroom floor. Oh, hey, what's up, Holly and Hell? Holly writes, I hate when ignorant people pop off about the government. Yeah. Especially when he's like, huh, am I one of those people? He's definitely one of those people. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
State representative. That's the American dream. That's it. And Lauren Cobb's beautiful wife. That's it. See? Lauren was like the top of the class, and he was right behind her, you know, like perfect.
Why do you do us like
and
that?
That's high school. Sweethearts. That's like he's awesome.
I'm sorry, Heather. It's just, you know, it's receipts, Heather. You know, people need to be reminded. I know it's gross. I'm sorry about that. I truly am. It is gross. But without people knowing where this guy, how he lived and how he allowed children, like under the age of 15, to live, is pretty disgusting. And for having him to talk about anything that smells, I just think it's hilarious. Because what they would love to have people forget that Colorado home wasn't just disgusting. I bet they're still cleaning it, and that was from a year ago.
I really like Kyle. Why don't you talk about the deep state? You never will. They pay you. Trump said 3 years ago when I left office, the United States stood ready for its golden age. That's true. He had gas at $1.50
Yeah.
a gallon, folks. Do you know how much productivity happens when your bottom line goes way, way up like that? Because
See?
the cost of
It
gas
works,
is
Charlie.
$1.15 a gallon. Our nation was at a pinnacle of power, prosperity, and prestige, towering above all rivals, vanquishing all enemies, striding into the future confident and resourceful. He's right. He's right. And we saw it in Colorado, the productivity. The trains constantly going with tons of stuff building things. Okay,
Hey, Sherry, what's
America
up?
was being rebuilt with Trump. That's the truth. The latter years were horrible because of all the controversies and bullshit and the kangaroo court of the impeachment trial for Russiagate scandal bullshit, which none of it was true. None of Russiagate, and they had nothing on Trump. And they effectively cut his tail off. And then also the George Floyd thing, which he didn't even respond to. And it still gets to me. I think it was a horrible response from Donald Trump on a Christian man being murdered in the street. He did not respond well. You know, I heard him in a later statement, and it was real close to the end of his presidency. And he
I know you guys can't really see the chat over here, but someone's asking, so Trump will help me find Jesus. He also wants to look up Mars. Don't you hear that folks? Man, yeah. Sometimes the chat. That's why I need to wait. You know, live is fun when it's live streaming, but since I can't see the chat, or unless I'm on a different account, or I have to make another account, I can see the chat now. And yeah, Rev is at least Shanny will acknowledge the chat, but Rev knows better. He knows he doesn't even look at that chat like at all because he'll get triggered and he'll get mad and he'll say something stupid.
He said something along the lines of,
Oh,
"I'm
that
really
neck.
happy that this man, this bad cop, he called Chauvin a bad cop, and he said, I hate to see the actions of this man and how horrific it was." He did kind of step out and say more about it, but that really got me when he didn't respond about George Floyd. Like I cut support because of that. Like the man was murdered and it was clear, you know. But I made up with Donald on that because he did respond to it a little bit more and more at length. Like we can't have disgusting people like that on a police force that are willing to just murder a man because they didn't like him, which is basically what happened to George Floyd. It's horrible. And then you have Christians that try to demonize George Floyd, which is insane. Like, yeah, he had a past, and apparently, you know, he was a porn actor, and he made
like Rev cares
and stuff like this. That he was a brother in Christ, guys. Like every brother in Christ has a past. Some are worse than others. His may have been especially bad, but he was a brother in Jesus. Why are you?
Oh, okay. So is the rules for them? They only get racist at people if they don't believe. Is that what this is? Okay, gotcha, Rev. I didn't know the rules. I always want to make sure that I'm up to date with your rules.
Condemning him. I hear these Christians that are like truther Christians, and they're so vicious about George Floyd, and even black ones. Like he was a brother in the street that was murdered, and you're standing up to the disgusting racist asshole that killed him. It's just incredible to me. But yeah, we got Trump. He's running.
I guess
blamed by a number of high-ranking Republicans for their poor showing in the midterm elections, including by Senate Leader Mitch McConnell. Yeah, Trump was the outsider from the start, and he even won the presidency, and these assholes will still they're still gonna piss on him.
Oh yeah,
he won in 4 years of the presidency, and lots of good shit for Republicans, and you're ungrateful assholes. That's the truth. Your party was a trash heap. Your party, the grand old party, was a fucking trash heap that smelled like bananas and shit. Old bananas, rotten bananas, and shit. That's what the Republican Party was because of your messiahs like George W. Bush, who absolutely... Now, I would not badmouth George now because
I usually speed him up because he just talks so slowly, you know? He almost puts people to sleep. Like, people in the chat were like, all right, I can't, because he's boring. You know what I mean, folks?
He's painting paintings, and he seems like a pretty wonderful man.
I'm going to bring him up a little bit.
I'm not attacking George Bush per se, but you gave your part. This is your party, okay? It was a dog shit heap that had no chances of ever getting elected again. With the
speed him back up
by the neocons.
See,
okay? I was a liberal Democrat in those days when I saw the bullshit of the Bush administration with Cheney and this Nazism. Okay, the neoconservatives are dangerous. All right, they're dangerous individuals, and you know all about that if you're a truther, because you know all the stories about how insane Cheney is, and yeah.
I know.
Mitch McConnell, who said independent voters now had...
Isn't that weird? Like, I gotta speed him up twice to make him sound normal.
The impression, quote-unquote, impression of many people in our party and leadership roles is that they are involved in chaos. Mitch McConnell can't... Do you even know what you're saying? Who said anything about chaos? He doesn't know what he's saying. I will say to him, though, that you're ungrateful. Mitchie, you're very ungrateful because this man, resurrected your party.
Yeah, right.
It was a trash heap, and he built a tower on it, you know, and put his name on it because he's a builder, so he's going to do that. He owns the party. He should, because if it wasn't for him, the party would be dead. Who would your star be, Republicans? Would your star be, I mean, Jason Chaffetz? I like Jason Chaffetz, but can he fill a 20,000 stadium?
Herschel Walker.
Herschel Walker? My God, I don't know, huh? Pretty hard. He just needs some basic linguistic training.
He's a dumb motherfucker. Anyway.
You can say it. All right, we got to get back to the Drudge Report, folks. Putin's terrified of assassination.
Nah.
Russian troops are being pushed in Ukraine. The Don sons had role in tax fraud scheme. Ooh. Now, if this goes forward, this is what could get them.
Yeah, I spent him up
You want
now.
to talk about getting rid of Donald?
It made him
We did
normal
so much
sounding.
America, this is the one that could get him. Trump's sons had a role in tax fraud scheme. Alan Wieselberg. His name is what? No, Wieselberg. Okay, Wiesel. All right, because it's German. The W is a V. Wieselberg. Okay. Reportedly testifies at
We
company's
got
trial.
you.
Okay, former President Donald Trump and 2 of his children had a role in massive fraud scheme. Testified former Trump Organization CFO Alan Wieselberg in New York court on Thursday. 2 of Trump's organization's entities have been indicted on fraud and tax evasion charges. Wieselberg pleaded guilty in August to 15 counts of tax fraud. They already got it. Holy shit. Donald, you're going to be like the actual Don, the Teflon Don. Who's that? People got to look him up. The Teflon Don. Look him up. Okay, John Gotti. They couldn't get Gotti on nothing, but they got him on taxes. You better pay your taxes. If you need to pay them, you should pay them. You will never hear me say, I'm a sovereign on the land, and I'm not being represented by my government, so I'm not going to pay my taxes. You'll never hear me say that, okay?
Wait, what tax are you paying? Yeah, his chat's right over here. Actually, if you can, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it's pretty lit up. The illusion of choice, 6 ads. Oh, and that's another thing. When people were watching, if you were watching this live, they had between 6 and 8 ads thrown at you. If you were watching this on your phone, you're like, forget that 8 ads for this nonsense. It's like, hold on, you gotta wait 20 minutes to be able to watch this. Have him drone on and on, not sped up.
Because number one, Jesus said, whose fucking face is on the coin? It's Caesar's face. That's right. Give it back to him. Where'd you get that piece of silver? Huh? With George Washington ascended the apotheosis because he's a god man. That's what the country made George Washington. He's a god man. The apotheosis. Wait, do you know what that means? Look that word up. Apotheosis. Wow. They basically called George Washington in this country a fucking god. I thought we were a Christian nation. You deified the first president? That doesn't...
He's so high. I'm sorry, Rev. Yeah, I would say allegedly, but not this time. Dude, you are... look at you right. You're baked. You're a baked chicken right now, aren't you?
Makes sense, though. You're supposed to only bow to Christ, Jesus. That's what they said in the Revolutionary War. We have no king but Jesus. Okay, that was what they cried to the redcoats. All right, no king but King Jesus. That's it. but you made George Washington, who didn't even want to be called president.
Oh no, this is Twitch.
That. That's how humble he was. He was a
true, in the corner.
Wow, man of God.
Little Twitch thing.
What did they do to the true men of God? They make them God. No, I was telling you about him. Even Jesus said, the Father's good, not me. But he's also the Father in the flesh. Jesus is the point in history where everything is. That's it. You see the cross over there. That's it. That's the time. That's that moment in history. Is the crucifixion. You got to know Jesus now. That's it.
You know what I'll do?
I'll move the chat. Or, at times, Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr. signed checks to pay up to $100,000 for private school tuition for Wieselberg's grandchildren. Wieselberg said that he instructed the company's controller to deduct the $100,000 from his salary, allowing him to report a smaller income. Copies of the same checks signed by the Trumps. My God, it was same checks. They were using same duplicate checks and stuff. That is fraud. Yeah, stupid. It's Eric and Don Jr., man.
There, now you guys can see the chat on the side better.
I don't know. He probably likes energy pills or something. During the period from about March 31st, 2005 to on or about June 30th of 2021, set forth below, Wieselberg and others engaged in a scheme constituting a systematic ongoing course of conduct that with intent to defraud more than one person and to obtain property from more than one person by false and fraudulent pretenses, representatives and promises, and obtain property with a value in excess of $1,000. Yeah, $1,000 from one of such persons to wit. And that's an official statement from who, Shanny? The IRS about Trump.
No, that sucks.
His company and apparently his sons. That is rough. But if you want to get rid of Trump, it's probably going to be taxes. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're putting the maximum amount of ads.
So I guess the House and Senate are still, they don't, Republicans, it looks like they're going to get majority in the Senate. It looks that way. What's the latest on that? I'd love to find a map for that. And let's do 2022 election results. Yeah, that came right up. Okay, here we go. Wow, that's phenomenal. So, you know, this is when the internet works really well. There you have it. Like, you can take a look. You can freeze this whenever you want to, and you can take a look at it.
No thanks.
Well, you can do it yourself. Like, it's glares. What are you gonna do? You know. Sometimes it works turning down the thing. But here's the thing. Just do it yourself and bring it up. Because it's 2022 election. Boom, it's the first thing that comes up there. U.S. Senate
I thought my brain was all over the place. Shit.
in progress. It's 97% reporting still. It's not 100% all this time later. 34 of 35 races have been called. So it's pretty much all over. Okay? The Democrats, we got 48 in the Senate. Republicans, 49. This is insane. So it's literally. In the U.S. House, I can't believe this. We have 211 Democrats and 218 Republicans. This is incredible to me because I've really watched this my whole life, the numbers. This is the most divided the country's ever been. We've never been more divided than right now. And you got, so what does that tell you? Okay, the controllers, what does that tell them? I shouldn't say it on the channel, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to get you in trouble.
Oh.
But I'll just mention very simply this. That these are the times that, man, it's just so sensitive, you know?
What does he want to say?
All right, so it's the most divided the country's ever been, guys. And you really don't want that right now, especially with Putin the way he's talking. Dems next big fight, which state goes first in the 24 primary. Yeah. You guys are just totally divided, and this looks like the way it's going to be.
Right.
Which a lot of people say that a hung house, hung Senate is a good thing because they can't do any more damage to the country because they can't agree to anything. Right.
I agree.
I could see that perspective, but the problem is the country's dying and people are suffering because inflation. Okay, that's going to be Joe Biden's worst word in the history for him is inflation. Because maybe there could have been prosperity if the currency wasn't so pushed down and being abused by it's the Fed. It's the Federal Reserve. We need to get them out. Whatever. You say that and then we're done. Let's see. GOP civil war spreads to Georgia runoff. So there are still some places it's like, yeah, we didn't know what the hell happened. It's too close, man. Mel Gibson will not be testifying in the Weinstein rape trial. Hopefully they get that guy for like 1 billion years. He's old enough, but make an example. Just very gross individual.
He still thinks this way.
Operative guilty of funneling Russian money to ex-president.
It don't matter, Charlie. It don't
GOP operative found guilty of funneling Russian money to Donald Trump. What? A Republican political strategist was convicted of illegally helping a Russian businessman contribute to Donald Trump's presidential campaign in 2016. Man, just when you think that he's not going to, okay, he can run in 2024 because he's not going to be in jail. You see something like this?
Yeah.
Don, you might be going to Club Fed, bro. Like, for real. I don't know. You got a lot of legal problems, Don. You got to try and clean this stuff up, Don, before you run. You got to clean this up. There's blood all over the floor, Donald.
Oh, yo, I won't play the clip again because I know it's disgusting. But I heard you gotta clean this up. Something about shit on the floor. It's disgusting. It's just so funny hearing Rev say that about anybody. It's just, especially with those clips. Shit.
Like, do you really, and I say this with respect, do you think it's appropriate to run again when you have all of this legal problems? Jesse Benton, 44, was pardoned by Trump in 2020 for a different campaign finance crime. He already pardoned him for a crime that he did. This is so bad. This looks so bad, man.
It definitely crashed.
Months before he was indicted again on 6 counts related to financing or facilitating an illegal foreign campaign donation. Why would you do this accept money from a Russian? Like, are you... These are the times when I read stupid shit like this that makes me go, Don, are you a ringer? Why? I don't understand. In what world, in what universe you live in that you think it's okay to take campaign donation from a Russian? This is just crazy, Don. Well, it's money. He likes me. It's money. Yeah, I understand that, but the implications of where the money comes from, Don, and you're not stupid.
Yeah.
The evidence in trial showed that Benton bought a $25,000 ticket to a September 2016 Republican National Committee event on behalf of Roman Vasilyenko, a Russian naval officer turned multi-level marketer. So he's in business too. Oh, but if you do any kind of research on the person that's giving you the $25,000...
Sounds like he's a queen of spades. Or I'm sorry, queen of buttholes. That's her new name.
Or that's getting the $25,000 ticket for the RNC convention. You're going to know pretty quick that he's Russian military? We should probably not give the guy a $25,000 ticket to the RNC. Like this makes you this is like deliberately poisoning the well for your own party. It's so weird. Lucifer.
He calls him Donnie. Yeah.
Okay.
What is this? Ninja Turtles too?
Yeah, Target has blamed massive shoplifting for the lost profits that they're having, and they are locking up toothpaste, folks.
Yeah. Ah, ha ha.
They're locking up toothpaste.
We don't even use it. Ha ha ha.
The democratic economy. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's great. SpaceX employees say that they were fired for speaking up about Musk. Well, I mean, what do you think?
I mean, if you need somebody to talk about toothpaste or soap or washing, these are not the people to get on your side to do that.
It's going to happen. If you're working with that guy, you better at least give him like, hey, what's up, Elon, every day, or like a thumbs up or something, because he might think that you're an asshole that's trying to stab.
I've been seeing her in other chats, Danica.
So that's not, what are you trying to speak up on? What's the deal? He does apparently like doing more than flirting with attendants on his planes. More than flirting. Yes. Exotic massage and something having to do with a woman's mouth, and that's it. Driverless taxis running 24 hours a day in San Francisco. Is that right? Driverless. It's Johnny Cap. That's pretty amazing. They got that going. All right. Man.
Yeah,
More likely
right.
to get COVID again taking Pfizer vaccine. You're more likely to get COVID now.
His face.
Wow.
I love it when Rev's baked.
I think I covered most of what we need to talk about, but man, it's pretty insane when I'm looking at the headlines and like, wow, there is so much fraud. Like, there's too much legal fraud.
Yeah.
For this man, for our man here of the hour, our guy here, okay? My guy,
It wasn't
all
pretty
right?
though, Crash.
For him to have any chance in 2024,
Well, that's what I heard.
he
I
really
didn't
has to
see
get a
it.
hold on these legal problems. That's just a fact. Man, was that exactly an hour? That's perfect timing, folks. Well, God bless you. God bless your family. Thank you for the financial support that you give me at Shanny and I. If you enjoyed this, let Shanny know. You know, it's the first episode. Revelation News headlines. God bless you all, and you know we need to pray, because when you see the leadership, like, is Trump my guy? Yeah, Trump's my guy. I'm gonna vote for him.
After all that.
Here's the thing, God he's number one in our leadership. That's it. And if we have unjust populace, we as the people of the nation, if we're not seeking God's face and praying, we're lost. Peace.
That is just so pathetic that after all that, hold on, let me fix this first. After all that negative stuff he said about Trump, then he's like, yeah, he's my guy. I'm like, but you just said all these bad things. Why would that person be your guy if you just said all this horrible shit? You know, you would think, all right, maybe I'll wait for somebody else. But, you know, that's Rev. We're never going to get different from Rev. Rev is Rev, folks. And Rev will always be Rev, and I'm here for it. And not only that, I am also here for these future videos that he just said. Now we're going to be getting these Rev News highlights. And if you guys have enjoyed me covering the Rev News highlight tonight, please like this stream. Subscribe if you're not. Become a member if you want to. You don't have to, but it'd be cool if you did. We have a members Discord and stuff and all that stuff. But you let me know below in the comments. But this was fun. There's about 121, 122 years. Please like everybody. And I will see you on the next one. Thank you, everyone, for your generous donations. I do appreciate it. Christmas and birthdays are coming up for my kids. So this is the best time. So really, dearly, thank you so much. And on that note, that's it. I'll see you on the next one. Have a good night, everybody. Be nice to each other. And as always, peace. Love you guys.